Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you. Excited to share this great news with you. Nothing is forever, folks, okay? And, sometimes we're down, sometimes we're up. It's all around. But, hey, this is some really great news. It is cataclysmic, okay, in the Democrat camp right now, okay? And this whole New World Order crowd. And so if you go to the World Economic Forum's website and you look at all the people who are frequenting that, it is straight up right out of the modern Democrat Party. Hey, JT, good to see you on. Hey, everybody, as you come in, smash that like if you would. Chat it up with where you're from. Good to see you on, B-Dog from British Columbia, Canada. All right, and no, I've got great news here. I mean, they're falling apart. I've got what is supposed to be a hit piece on Ron DeSantis that shows how they're falling apart. I've got some news on registrations. I've got some news. Wins in court. I got wins everywhere, people. Wins everywhere. I mean, nonstop winning. I've got like seven pieces I got to cover with you here. Just wins all over the place. Good to see you on from Ohio. So this is live, and thank you, Pamela. I love Minnesota, even in spite of all that's wrong with it. Hey, look at this. See what I got? My slippers. These are my slippers. Do you know what I like about these slippers? I guess he did 2 years in development of this, but I wear these right outside, so I can wear them inside, and they're soft. They got like a memory foam, and then I can wear them outside, and they got a great sole on them. And it's snowing. It's snowing again here. I don't know if I could. Now I can't. I could turn around, show you out the window, but I mean, I'm just watching snowfall. I had to plow today. I had to plow. People, like we just had Easter. It's middle of April, and I had to plow again. And you know what it's like plowing when your road isn't set up frozen because it's already thawed? It's terrible. Those of you who have plowed gravel on gravel, you know this stuff. Anyways, but yeah, so the slippers at My Pillow. Also, of course, I always tell people the travel pillow. My favorite product is still the Giza sheets, but it's mypillow.com, promo code Lumberjack, and that will save you up to 66%. All right, so look, I'm serious. I've got a number of things here. I'm going to give you some phenomenal news. I am going to start with this story out of just the news. And this is going to curtail right into two specific states. Actually, here, let me give you this one first. So Wisconsin, a true battleground state, that the polling suggested before the 2020 election that Trump was down by 17 points by one of these far left polling outfits, right? Well, we all know that's not the case. In fact, we know that. All right, moving right along. Look, here's the thing. 2022 update. The Wisconsin Supreme Court has ruled 4-3 to adopt the GOP congressional map in the state of Wisconsin. That's a reversal. If you guys remember, there was a prior ruling that said no to that map, but now it was vacated by SCOTUS and Late March. So they sent it back to Wisconsin Supreme Court. It was at the Supreme Court of the United States. Anyways, the bottom line, it's going to be a pickup. It's 6 out of 8 seats that the Democrats, they're not going to pick up 6. It's just awesome. I mean, we're talking 3/4 of the state of Wisconsin legislators are not going to be these commies that have just completely infected the Democrat Party. And again, I say this because I used to have a pretty good Democrat rep when I lived in Bemidji, Minnesota. I mean, he was the last blue dog Democrat. He got voted out in the last election, Colin Peterson. He voted against Obamacare. I mean, I could give you all that. He was pro-life. He was pro-gun, all this stuff. Anyways, but now the party is just so far tilted. They're just so infected with this New World Order thinking. It's terrible. And it's happening in the Republican Party, too. That's why it's so important that we get out and vote in the primaries. Get out and vote in your primaries, especially if you're in Pennsylvania. Make sure you are voting for Mastriano for governor, and certainly not that Oz for Senate. I've already done a video on that. Bartlett, I think, was the gal that I had mentioned as I dug into there. But here, so that's going on in Wisconsin. Now look at this. Hispanic voters are deserting Biden in major warning sign for Democrats. So if you guys will remember, I want you to go back to the election of 2016, okay? And Donald Trump came out hard against illegal immigration. And many on the Republican side were saying he's going down the wrong path. This is so dangerous. He's going to lose. He's going to lose the votes. And the very issue he won on was immigration. Okay. Now look at this, because they tell you you've got to go all in on illegal immigration to win the Hispanic vote. And that's not true, because Hispanic voters are deserting Biden in major warning signs for Democrats. This out is just the news. President Biden's approval rating among Hispanics, listen to this, has plummeted as the historically Democratic bloc's support for Republicans continues to increase, presenting an electoral problem for Democrats whose immigration policies have fueled much of this shift. So the very policies that they think are going to win the Hispanic vote are actually alienating from the Hispanic vote. And the very policies that Donald Trump put in place, which were supposed to alienate the Hispanic vote, see, it's opposite world. Anytime Republican strategists and the press, because Republican strategists aren't really strategists in the sense of helping Republicans, it's crazy. Yeah, 26% of Hispanic voters approve of Biden's job performance, compared to 54% who disapprove. This is according to a Quinnipiac poll released Wednesday. Perhaps the most striking, now listen to this. The poll found a staggering 41% of Hispanic voters strongly disapprove of Biden's handling of the presidency, while just 12% strongly approve. Hispanics represent the country's largest voting bloc by ethnicity. A downward trend in Hispanic support for Biden has been ongoing for months. Now, if you'll remember back during the Obama time, they said, demographics, the Republican Party is going to be out forever, forever, forever. Now, I am going to tell you, I'm going to give you some warning signs too. Look at, Fox News just hired Caitlyn Jenner, and they're just making this big thing about, we hired Caitlyn Jenner. It really makes me want to watch Fox News all the less. The only thing I catch are clips of Tucker Carlson. I don't care for Fox News. And seriously, it's just, oh gosh. And then they want to interview her. Oh, anyways, I can't even go down that road. I'm sorry. I can't. All right. So now this Hispanic voter thing, now check this out. Okay. Why Nevada will tell the story of the 2022 election. This out of CNN, and I don't give you much from CNN, but this is interesting. And I've got the next one is just phenomenal. This next piece I've got for you out of Florida is just awesome. But let me get through this quick. Election day is still over 6 months away in the U.S., but major general elections are already happening all over the world. Round one of France's presidential election occurred this past weekend, and the runoff will be held next weekend. Now, there stands to be a chance that the conservative could win in France, and I kid you not. French conservatives are different. I understand, okay? But the fact that Macron may not win is interesting, okay? Now, we'll talk about the race in a moment, but we'll start stateside. Specifically, we're going to start out west, a state that may be ground zero for Republican takeover of Congress in November. Look, CNN, quit trying to create drama here, because this isn't even close. It's not even close. I am telling you, I know I've said this before. People, I just got off the phone with a candidate for sheriff. I think I'm going to be interviewing him tomorrow. So watch, make sure you got your notifications on and you're subscribed. Great constitutionally minded candidate for sheriff. I'm going to have him on. We're going to be interviewing him and talking a little bit about law, the Constitution, and sheriffs and his race. Okay. Anyways, but it's not the again, I covered this ad nauseum over on Locals and Rumble. I'm not going to go into it here because it's unpopular on this platform. Not with you folks, but, with the people, the AI thing. But Wyoming's on board. Good to see you on. I'm going to buy my points for Wyoming. I got to get some elk points out there. Anyways, because I still want to hunt Wyoming so bad. So the Republican takeover in Congress is a foregone conclusion at this point, people. I have said 100 seats. I'm sticking by that. If I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong after the election. Again, I've covered all the reasons why it's going to happen, why it can't be stopped. Okay. My biggest concern is that you are not getting out and voting in your primary elections and getting involved at the local grassroots level to ensure that rhinos are not in there. Again, going back to Pennsylvania, come on. We cannot have these, especially in Pennsylvania. We have the chance of a lifetime here. This is not just a changing, a realign. This is a seismic shift in how people are aligning with political parties. I mean, I was even reading today that labor union, the gal was a labor union head, and she was shifting away from the Democrat Party because of their policies on education. They are losing it so big, okay, on education. It's unbelievable. No catfish, I did not as of yet. I just saw that. Republicans should be giddy about Nevada, okay? When people tick off the most competitive states on this year's Senate map, their selections would probably include states like Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Most rating experts will also list Nevada, even if it's not top of mind, okay? And it goes on about how none of these Democrats should be. Here's the part I really want to get to. Now President Joe Biden won the state. Did he? No. By a little over 2 points in 2020. That was a slightly reduced margin from Hillary Clinton's in 2016. The guy's so popular, Mr. 81 million. I mean, he just can't help, but he just brings them in like mad people, like mad. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyways, Biden's margin in Nevada was 4 points and 10 points lower than Barack Obama's 2012 and 2008 showings. In other words, Republicans have been closing the gap with Democrats in the last couple of elections in Nevada. Yeah, they closed it really strong here this last, I'm telling you. Okay, in 2020, the state voted more Republican than the nation as a whole for the first time since 2004. And why is that, people? Because Hispanic voters. See, the Democrat Party thought they had a lock on Hispanic voters. They don't. And here, and you guys want to know how big this is getting? Republican registrations in battleground states are burying Democrats. I'm not kidding you. They'll have to, what is this headline? This was out of the Gateway Pundit. I mean, they have to, wow, they used a word here you can't even say over here. Extra hard this go around. All right. This is very big news. Republicans are burying Democrats in new voter registration. This is happening in state after state, including battleground states, Pennsylvania, Florida, North Carolina, Iowa, and Nevada. Okay, so listen to these numbers. Florida, GOP plus 245,000. Pennsylvania, plus 120,000. North Carolina. By the way, and in Pennsylvania, it's Democrats registering now as Republicans. North Carolina, GOP plus 92,000. So it's not only that they're plus that much, but then the Democrats are losing. So the net gain is even greater. Do you guys understand this? They have overplayed their hands so greatly, they cannot come back from this. I'm just telling you, okay? Oh, my. Iowa, plus 50,000. Oklahoma, plus 57,000. Nevada, plus 24,000. Colorado, plus 12. Even Colorado. California, Democrats. Plus, no, that was Democrats are plus 12,000 in Florida, in Colorado. I don't know if I buy that. I'll have to do some analysis on that. Anyways, California Dems, plus 193,000. California, I'm sorry. California. Okay, so now check this out. Watch this attempt at a hit piece, okay, on Governor DeSantis, okay? Although they do kind of praise him for his badness, okay? This is awesome. Smash the like if you would, please. There's 449 of you on and only 244 likes. Please smash that like. Really helps increase the distribution. And subscribe to the channel if you hadn't. And by the way, visit my new sponsor, reverecoffeecompany.com. Promo code Lumberjack will save you 10%, and you get to support the show. Okay, I just had to throw that in there because I love that coffee. It's just silky smooth. It really is good, okay? Okay, so DeSantis owns the libs. This is out of the Miami Herald. Listen to this. DeSantis owns the libs and has turned Florida into mega central editorial. Governor Ron DeSantis has, okay, you got to listen. This is liberal writing it. Okay, listen. Governor Ron DeSantis has governed like an extremist. He's stoked racial animosity. He's disregarded the 73,000 plus Floridians who have died from that thing, he's scapegoated LGBTQ youth. He's forced the state legislature to cede power to him in the redrawing of congressional districts that likely diminish black representation. He's got autocratic tendencies, inflicting revenge on anyone who dares to disagree. DeSantis has not been punished politically. Oh, the horror! He's not been punished, people, for all these terrible things. He's benefited. He has benefited. for all the harm he's done to the Sunshine State. All the harm, like the roaring economy, like the people longing for freedom, like all the people leaving New York to go to Texas and bring their tax dollars with them. That kind of harm. These people are so insane, okay? For all the harm he's done to the Sunshine State, DeSantis is me. Oh, and for giving parents rights. You know, they call it the don't say gay bill. It's actually, don't ever use the word gay. Don't give them that. It's homosexual. Okay, but it's not the don't say, it's parental rights. Okay, so for giving parents rights and such, these people are such nut jobs. And you notice how every single media outlet covers news the exact same way, all these liberal nut jobs, okay? Because they're all owned by the same people, okay? Anyhow, hey, Kenny Cab sent me something here. Waiting for you to get invited to speak on a huge campaign rally. Your optimism, even in bad news. Hey, thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you. No, this is amazing. So check this. Some even consider him the most powerful governor in recent history. Very few people, including many Democrats, doubt he will win re-election in November. Maybe his antics are all part of his purported plan to run for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. But in the Sunshine State, his approval ratings remain high, 58% according. Oh, the horror. Okay, part of the blame for this one-man rule falls to Florida Democrats' ineptitude at winning elections. My gosh, they haven't learned like the people of Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. In this case, they have yet to discover how to counter the governor's political messaging machine with the socialist label that the GOP has attached to them. Florida has become more red and less purple in recent elections. Donald Trump won the state twice. The horror, the horror. The number of registered Republicans voters outpaced the number of Democrats last year. Florida has become mega central. With every culture war the governor launches, whether it be against CRT or woke Disney, he appears to have his finger on the pulse of something. Of course he does. People are throwing Mickey and Minnie in the garbage can. What do these people not get? See, you have to understand how indoctrinated these people are on the left and what they actually believe and think and how they are. And they only hire indoctrinated people. Please smash that like if you would. I love it. We're at 550. We only need a couple hundred more likes and we'll be equal. Thanks. Thank you so much for hitting that like. Thank you. So they don't, you know who, he does have the pulse on America and the pulse on Florida. And the problem is this liberal media has nothing of the pulse. And I shouldn't even use liberal because, see, ownership of words is important. They are commies, complete commies. Liberal would mean like you're free. Okay, they don't want freedom because otherwise they'd be excited about Elon Musk buying out Twitter so that they can have free speech, but they want to control speech. There's nothing liberal about that, okay? So that's not liberal, okay? And progressive, there's nothing progressive about these policies. They're regressive, okay? Sitting there, taking kids at, in kindergarten and trying to get them to become something that they're not. Okay, they were born with certain body parts, so they're like these, so you can define them like, so you can buy them blue or pink clothes. And, did I just say that? Yes, I'm serious. You can buy a boy blue clothes and a girl pink clothes, and that's okay. See, they try to own these words, but that's not what it's about. It's all about tearing down the very fabric of society so they can divide us against each other. And what weird things to divide us over, right? Things that never used to divide us at all. Okay, I mean, it's inverted reality. Thank you, M9. All right. Anyhow, but that's something, okay, appears to have the finger on the pulse of someone. Back to the article here. That something might be a discomfort some Americans, and not just those mega Trump voters the left often ridicules, have with fast-changing cultural norms about gender, sexuality, and race. Concerns that the left perhaps have too briskly dismissed without giving them a fair hearing. Then DeSantis exploits them, creating a useful boogeyman. What do you mean boogeyman? Like Disney's not doing this? Tell me a kid that Disney has touched that they haven't wrecked. Look at Miley Cyrus. Are you kidding me? I mean, she used to go to daddy-daughter balls and stuff. She gets involved with Disney. Now she's gone down wow. Boogeyman, you've got demonic freaks in there trying to indoctrinate our children about things that are not even real, are not scientific, and you're calling that a boogeyman? See, and these people actually believe that that's like a boogeyman, like it doesn't exist. Okay. Praise God. Praise God that this is all coming to light, just how whack they are. Praise God that they accelerated the speed of which they wanted to come out of the closet. And I'm not talking about just in that area. I'm talking about coming out of the closet, about how badly they wanted to destroy our country and create a new world order in a one world government, straight from the World Economic Forum, okay? Praise God that they've been exposed and that people are seeing it and rising up against it in massive numbers. It's to those voters DeSantis spoke when he professed this week that Florida's congressional districts should be race neutral. At face value, who can argue with allowing all candidates to win on merits? But he leaves out the historic exclusions that led to federal law requiring districts in which minorities have the opportunity to elect a representative. In a society with short attention spans, it's the soundbite that sells the message, not the nuance and important historical context. Clearly, I can't read anymore. Okay, you guys get it, right? They're whacked. All right. I mean, nuanced. It's their favorite word. By the way, is there anything nuanced about the sound bites coming out of the left? You're a racist. You're a homophobe. You're this. You're that. Okay, come on. Come on. Who's got the soundbite central going on here? Who's non-nuanced? You're going to call me a racist just because I think people should win on the basis of merit? Over the color of their skin? Seriously. Did you know that, and you guys want to see something really cool on YouTube? There's a Canadian girl, and I started following her during the truckers protest up there, but she does some really good community posts, okay? And she had one on there today about Irish slavery, okay? And it was very, very good. Don Riddell just said My Pillow link. It's just mypillow.com, Donald. I don't know if you were looking for it or not, but mypillow.com, promo code Lumberjack. Okay, saves you up to 66%, yada, yada. All right, so now, here, oh, wait, which one do I want to go to next? This is, that's a huge one. Let me just save that one for the end. That's a big one, too. Here, I'm going to get to this one here real quick. This is a quick sidebar. On Holy Saturday, this is out of the Gateway Pundit, America-hating immigrant Ilhan Omar criticizes Christians singing on a plane. So if you don't know what happened here, the Christians on a plane, I mean, it's Holy Weekend, and they started singing. Now, I'm going to give you something. I used to teach group cycle at the YMCA, and I was playing Christian music at the YMCA, right? Now, if you don't know the history of the YMCA, it was Young Men's Christian Association, I believe it was. Anyhow, bottom line is that it was a Christian organization designed, if you actually read their mission statement, it was designed to spread the light of the gospel and on and on. Okay, so I'm playing Christian music at the YMCA for my cycle class, and some lady comes up to me afterwards and tells me that it could be offensive to people. Now, you go to a cycle class, and they'll be playing over-sexualized music with Effenheimers and all this kind of stuff in it, but that's not offensive, people. I just want you to know that's not offensive. But if I dare mention the name of Jesus, that all of a sudden became offensive. So as I'm talking with her afterwards, and it turns out she's telling me she goes to church and she's a Christian, but I can't play Christian music in a cycle class because I might turn people off. Like, are you kidding? God inhabits what? The praises of his people. This is how backwards everything has gotten, okay? Support Royce White to unseat Ilhan Omar. 100%, Julie. I agree with you. Anybody to unseat Ilhan Omar, okay? Now, Ilhan posted a tweet condemning the singings of Christian song on a plane. Notice the passengers are not wearing coverings. Either this was a chartered flight or it was from years ago. Either option makes Ilhan Omar look bad. I think my family and I should have a prayer session next time I am on a plane. How do you think it'll end? You know what, Ilhan? If you have a prayer session on a plane, I actually don't think that anybody's going to make a fuss about it. Okay? Unless, Ilhan, you have a prayer session that's calling down fire upon the United States of America. Then people might have a problem with it, but otherwise they're not going to care, okay? Pretty tolerant people, okay? So I am going to go to this one. This is going to blow your mind, people. Are you ready? This is a little bit mind-blowing. Johns Hopkins University confirms you can be basically jabbed. I guess it wouldn't be jabbed, but anyways, with a PCR swab test without knowing. So this is interesting, and I had no idea. So in January 2019, the WHO defined the growing number of critics as one of the top 10 threats to global health since, the whole fiasco here. Meanwhile, resistance is forming within the orthodox medical establishment. Okay, but the WHO continues to insist upon 70% rates. Okay, but here's what I want to get you to. There's a device known as Thera. Have you guys heard about this, Thera? Just comment in there. I want to know if anybody's heard of this, okay? Because this is really interesting. This is actually mind-numbing. I sent this to my son because he might be forced to submit to a test. No, see, nobody knows about this. So listen to this. Inspired by a parasitic worm that digs its sharp teeth into the intestines of its host, Johns Hopkins researchers have developed tiny star-shaped micro devices that attach to the intestinal mucosa and can deliver drugs into the body. These tiny devices, known as Thera, are made of metal in a thin film that changes shape. They are covered with heat-sensitive kerosene wax. I mean, I can't even imagine taking kerosene into my body, but this is weird. And each no larger than a dust particle. When the kerosene coating on the Thera reaches body temperature, the devices close autonomously and clamp onto the wall of the colon. Because of the sealing action, the tiny six-pointed devices burrow into the mucosa and attach to the colon, where they are held and gradually release their drug load to the body. Eventually, the Thera lose their grip on the tissue and are removed from the colon through normal gastrointestinal muscle function. Okay? Note, according to Johns Hopkins University, Thera are actually administered with a cotton swab. I kid you not. Is that nuts? I mean, this is like, I'm not saying what had happened. I'm just letting you people know what these things are. Okay, that's all I'm letting you know. Just so you know, I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything. Powers that be. I'm just saying that this is real. Okay? But we have consistently seen, whether it's the FBI, the WHO, whatever, anybody that disagrees with them are all of a sudden brought out as, a great threat to society and all this stuff. Well, look at this. I mean, I don't know, and then they just have to, have things done to them, whether they like it or not, so this last one's a big story too. I do want to mention real quickly. Oh, I don't know. This app might be a little too hot for YouTube. Might not. You can go check it out over at lumberjacklogicshow.com. Promo code lumberjack. Oh no, that's not a promo code. I'm sorry. Just go lumberjacklogicshow.com if you want to get some merch and support the show. Thank you. Okay, there's some cool stuff over there. Some Let's Go Brandon. But I got a really interesting article out of thecradle.co. Listen to this. Exclusive. Russia's Sergei Glaziev introduces the new global financial system. This is wild. My friend sent me this. The world's new monetary system, underpinned by a digital currency, will be backed by a basket of new foreign currencies and natural resources, and it will liberate the global south from both Western debt and IMF-induced austerity. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm going to get into this, okay? I want you to. I'm not saying that for sure this is going to happen or anything. So don't. I'm not an investment advisor. I just want to know where this is going now. Long has the petrodollar controlled the world, although it's not really fully the petrodollar because it's the world banking system that relies on the petrodollar, which has then been inflated, through multiple bailouts and trillions upon trillions of dollars to drive our money supply up and our purchasing power down and so on, okay? But Sergei Glaziev is a man living right in the eye of our current geopolitical and geoeconomic hurricane. One of the most influential economists in the world, a member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, and former advisor to the Kremlin from 2012 to 2019. For the last 3 years, He has helmed Moscow's uber strategic portfolio as minister in charge of integration and macroeconomics for Eurasia Economic Union. Okay? So the guy's got some credibility here. I just want to give you that. Hey, and Hippy Dippy, could you just share some links for me, please, to mypillow.com? Somebody was looking for that earlier, to the Lumberjack Logic Show, and also to Revere Coffee Company and My Patriot Supply. Thank you. Okay, so Glaziev's recent, and just so if you guys want to go check this article out, the web address is The Cradle, just like you'd spell it, thecradle.co. Okay, so you can read the article, because I'm not going to read it in its entirety, and you're going to have to make your own determinations. But I want to get this news out because it's important, because we may see the erosion of the dollar. Okay, seriously. Thank you, Donald. Getting rid of trolls. Thank you. Glaziev's recent intellectual production has been nothing short of transformative, epitomized by his essay, Sanctions and Sovereignty, and an extensive discussion of the new emerging geoeconomic paradigm in an interview to a Russian business magazine. Okay, so we're going to get right down here to the interview. I'm going to just jump ahead. So the Cradle asked him, you are at the forefront of a game-changing geoeconomic development, the design of a new monetary financial system via an association between the EU and China bypassing the US dollar. With the draft soon to be concluded, could you possibly advance some of the features of this system, which is certainly not a Bretton Woods 3, but seems to be a clear alternative to the Washington Consensus and very close to the necessities of the global South? Okay. Now, I've always enjoyed America being at the top until I've learned more about the fact that they're so tied in, the current people are so tied in with the New World Order folks, okay? All right? So Glaziev answers them. In a bout of Russia-phobic hysteria, the ruling elite of the United States played its last trump ace in the hybrid war against Russia, having frozen Russian foreign exchange reserves in custody accounts of Western central banks. Financial regulators of the US, EU, and the UK determine the status of the dollar, euro, and pound as a global reserve currency. This step sharply accelerated the ongoing dismantling of the dollar-based economic world order. So this is huge when you think about it, okay? Through their actions, did they overstep so much that they subverted the very thing that they want to prop up? Okay? That's pretty wild. So, and I think what happens is a lot of times people are so concerned and think that the New World Order crowd, the World Economic Forum crowd, is just so smart and they've just got everything all. They don't. Okay, first off, God is more powerful than all of them combined forever. Okay, so he can change things like that in the blink of an eye. Don't kid yourself for a second. Okay, but beyond that, they make moves and they don't fully understand what the implications of that are. So it's like if you're playing chess, right, and you may be playing 5D chess, but there still might be moves beyond the 5D you're thinking about. You understand? What if the person makes an unexpected move? And Russia may be making an unexpected move here, okay? All right. So over a decade ago, my colleagues at the Astana Economic Forum and I proposed to transition to a new global economic system based on a new synthetic trading currency based on the index of currencies of participating countries. Okay. Later, we proposed to expand the underlying currency basket by adding around 20 exchange-traded commodities. A monetary unit based on such an expanded basket was mathematically modeled and demonstrated a higher degree of resilience and stability. Wouldn't that be fantastic if a dollar was actually backed by commodities like it used to be here in the US, whether that be gold or silver or those types of things? At around the same time, we proposed to create a wide international coalition of resistance in the hybrid war for global dominance that the financial and power elite of the U.S. unleashed on the countries that remained outside of its control. So there's basically been a war going on, although we haven't seen like a traditional war like World War II, that kind of thing. But there has been an economic war and also an information war and a technological war. And that's what they're addressing here in Russia, is this economic war. Okay? My book, The Last World War, the U.S. To Move and Lose, published in 2016, scientifically explained the nature of this coming war and argued for its inevitability, a conclusion based on objective laws of long-term economic development. Based on the same objective laws, the book argued the inevitability of the defeat of the old dominant power. See, because if you're going to just then go raid people's bank accounts, if you're going to utilize your banking system to then just take people's money because you don't agree with them, like we saw in Canada, like we're seeing now with Russia and so on. Okay, if you've determined that that's what you can do, oh my gosh, we're at 700 people on this stream. Thank you, folks. Please do smash the like, all you newcomers, and help increase it just a little bit more. But if you're going to go down that road, eventually the pendulum has to swing the other way. That's like when I started at the beginning of this, nothing is forever. Okay? No dynasty lasts forever. No political party stays in power forever. Even if through nefarious means they gain that power, eventually people will rise up to shut them down. It's happened throughout the world, will happen again. By the way, did you know that James Garfield back in the, I thought he would have been late 1800s, had the election most likely taken from him? Did you guys know this little bit of history? So James Garfield was elected. He's one of the only, I think potentially, is he the only? Or no, there were two that were elected, then not reelected, and then elected again, okay? So Garfield won. Basically, from all accounts historically, he lost that election, but not legitimately. And then he won the next election. So don't think that just because things go bad, that they're going to stay that way forever, and that party has power over everything, okay, for a long time. All right. So, again, if you see somebody on here trolling, you can feel free to I don't mind people who disagree with me. I really don't. I actually like it if they have intelligent questions. I may not see them though. So, but if you're just insulting, it looks like Hippy Dippy just had to time somebody out. Yeah, if you're just insulting and acting like a freak, I had to do that the other day on my Telegram, cut a comment. I'm not going to have people just launching Effenheimers at everybody. That's ridiculous. Okay? That's not how we're going to talk to people. Okay? Currently, the U.S. is fighting to maintain its dominance, but just as Britain previously, which provoked 2 world wars but was unable to keep its empire and its central position in the world due to the obsolescence of its colonial economic system, it is destined to fail. Now, the U.S. could stay as the global superpower if they just didn't try to, and this is what's so terrible, is try to enforce power where they don't have it, okay? It's, if we would just act in the best interests of ourselves and the world, it'd be glorious, but we're not anymore. And we have no, they say might makes right, but it doesn't make right. It just makes the might think that they're right. You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay, so America's been down this slippery slope. Okay, and I am not, just so you understand where I'm coming from, I am not a Putin apologist. I believe he is very smart. I do. He's certainly more of a leader than Biden. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I think what he's doing is always right all the time. Or is it, humanitarian? It's not even that. Okay, thank you. Yes, Grover Cleveland. That's it. Okay. Michael Hudson specifically, so this is from the Cradle, they're asking another question. I sped ahead. Michael Hudson specifically asked that if this new system enables nations in the global south to suspend dollarized debt and is based on the ability to pay in foreign exchange, can these loans be tied to either raw materials or, for China, tangible equity ownership in the capital infrastructure financed by foreign non-dollar credit? See, I'm actually concerned about this because China and Russia aligning themselves and India and everybody turning against the U.S. is not a good thing for us. But what are they supposed to do in response to our policies? Okay? Transition to the new world. Okay, so this from Glaziev again. Transition to the new world economic order will likely be accompanied by systematic refusal to honor obligations in dollars, euro, pound, and yen. In this respect, it will be no different from the example set by countries issuing these currencies who thought it appropriate to steal foreign exchange reserves of Iraq, Iran, Venezuela, Afghanistan, and Russia to the tune of trillions of dollars. Since the US, Britain, EU, and Japan refused to honor their obligations and confiscated the wealth of other nations, which was held in their currencies, why should other countries be obliged to pay them back and to service their loans? See, he raises a great question. Now, I mean, in the case of Afghanistan, which was a terrorist regime, again, I mean, I could go down a lot of different ways on this, but I want you to, just without a lot of my opinion, I just want you to hear what this guy's saying, okay? So don't think that I agree with everything he says, but I certainly agree with some of what he says here too. In many cases, participation of the new economic system will not be constrained by the obligations in the old one. Countries of the global south can be full participants of the new system regardless of their accumulated debts in dollars, euro, pound, and yen. Even if they were to default on their obligations in those currencies, this would have no bearing on their credit rating in the new financial system. By the way, and also, you see what's going on there because Russia and Ukraine being big wheat exporters. Hey, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're new, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I've got a great interview coming up tomorrow with a sheriff, a candidate for sheriff. But fertilizer right now. Did you know that Union Pacific is putting a limit on the amount of fertilizer? So they're picking a specific product, fertilizer, and saying we're not going to ship any more of that. Do you guys understand what a big deal that is? With fertilizer prices being up 300%, already having trouble getting fertilizer, and then they need fertilizer again as the summer rolls on, so they do multiple fertilizer applications too, oftentimes. But there's two main fertilizing seasons. Anyways, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but the bottom line is I work with an ag bank, so I have a little understanding on this, and because they have to have operating loans and that type of thing. But why would they be halting fertilizer shipments in the U.S.? Limiting fertilizer shipments. What's that all about? I mean, I have my ideas. I'm curious what you people think. I'll watch the comments here as I try and cover a couple things, okay? The Cradle asked him again. I'm just trying to watch. Food shortages inbound, I believe. Yes. Hey, Chad, good to see you on. That's my old roommate. That's awesome. Anyways, so we can't grow crops. Exactly, Debs. So I'm going to tell y'all, get prepared. Thank you, Timothy. I'm glad you found this channel as well. But take a little bit of time to get prepared, okay? Get some seeds, get some chickens, get some corn, whatever. Make sure you're prepared for the year, okay? It's all BS, Neil. Fertilizer is for massive farms. There's a reason, but we have our own, okay? I grow my own, okay? But the fact is that if you can limit production of food, it is going to cause problems. Just saying. All right. In one of our latest essays, The Economics of Russian Victory, this from the Cradle again, asking this guy a question. You call for an accelerated formation of new technological paradigm and formation of institutions of a new world economic order. Among the recommendations, you specifically propose the creation of a payment settlement system in the national currency of the EU member states and the development and implementation of an independent system of international settlements in the EA, EU, SCO, and BRICS, which could eliminate the critical dependence of US-controlled SWIFT system. So that's a big deal, okay? So, you guys are familiar with the BRICS, I'm sure. Russia, India, China, Brazil, I can't remember the S. You guys probably remember the S, but so if these other nations align themselves and create their own monetary systems, that's huge. It really is. So I guess I've gone on for 43 minutes here. I don't want to take all your guys' day. I want to I just find this to be a bigger story, and it's not being covered. And I want you to go check out the article if you want to. It's thecradle.co, because it goes on here, but it's exclusive. Russia's Sergei Glaziev introduces the new global financial system. So if you just do a web search for thecradle.co and do new global financial system, you will pull this article up. And yeah, I just, yeah, we got our chicks down in the basement here for our egg laying chickens and everything right now. For those who don't know, I have another channel, Neil of the North, and I raise chickens and cows and do independent off-grid living kind of stuff over there, and automobiles and whatnot. So if you're into that stuff, feel free to subscribe. Hippie Dippy can share that. Coffee, yes. So please do support the sponsors. They do support the show. All the sponsor links are in the description below. Typically my lives do get limited monetization. They get demonetized. So it does help out a lot when you support the sponsors. And you know what the great thing about my sponsors are? They are all conservative companies. Okay. So you are not supporting people who hate you. You are supporting people who actually value your values. Okay. So please support them, and reverecoffeecompany.com, promo code lumberjack. It'll save you 10% and you will love their coffee. I mean, you'll love it. I mean, it really is. It's really good. It's really smooth. It's fantastic stuff. So, yeah, stock up legally, go fishing, go turkey hunting. I'll be elk hunting this fall again. Oh yeah. Thanks, Delane. Yeah, I love my pillow too. And I will tell you time and time again, these travel pillows are the best. I mean, I take them. So when I go elk hunting, I'll show you guys something here for those who haven't seen this before. Hold on. You just roll these. They're called roll and go pillows. And they work great as a knee pillow too, if you like knee pillows. But look at that. It's just so small. See, there it is beside my face. So so I can put this in my backpack and then carry it with me when I'm elk hunting. And then I just go like this, and then I just fluff it up, and then it's very comfortable. I love it. Ever since I got one of those, and I got those long before the whole political scene. I've had my pillow for 10 years, and that roll and go pillow, I take it with me everywhere. People, you got get one of these. They're just incredible. And then I tell you, those Giza sheets, but I just never knew Giza sheets. Never knew sheets were a big thing. And then I've got 2 pair of this one's all, but they actually have tall sizes in the sleepwear, and I'm tall. I'm like 6'5". So anyways, you know, they got the slippers and everything. But you guys are awesome, and thank you. And thank you for sticking with me over this time, with all the times I have been off due to needing a break or forced time off, as it were, on this platform. When I've just been over on Locals and Rumble, and many of you have followed me over there as I try to continue to get the news out, whatever that news may be. And we are going to be doing another band reunion. So if you guys make sure you follow my Locals channel if you're new, lumberjacklogic.locals.com, because on that channel, when I do a band reunion, sometimes they're hosted on other channels because there's 6 of us. So we host, different people host it at different times. And we get into all the news that we cannot cover over here, and we give you a complete rundown. Do not miss those. They're fantastic. So lumberjacklogic.locals.com. We typically run those on Rumble. The reason I'm telling you to make sure you subscribe to Locals is because from my Locals channel, you will get a notification and a link to that particular Rumble channel that it's on at that time. All right. Anyhow, hey, country gentleman, good to see you on. Nice to find your channel. Hey, thank you. Just bending at it. So anyways, it's funny. YouTube is a game of attracting and losing subscribers. For those who want to start a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel, I recommend you do it. We need more voices, not less. Okay, we do. We need more voices, not less. So I encourage you to start your own channel. But when doing that, the one thing I will tell you with YouTube is it's collaborate with others. It'll really help you grow your channel, and don't ever have a scarcity mentality. There's plenty of people out there to watch channels. Don't ever have a scarcity mentality. Promote others. We're stronger together. We really are. Okay. So anyways, but yeah, just make sure you're subscribed to my locals channel, lumberjacklogic.locals.com. Thanks so much. I love you all. Peace out.